great marijuana. That is the purpose of this meeting, ladies and gentlemen.
Marijuana is referred to as Mary Jane, pot, weed, or tea.
That Michoacan, man, Acapulco Gold, man. I even smoke that tight stick.
We're smoking reefer.
The realest thing smoking on the internet. The Podheads Web Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's 4:20 on a Saturday in April, and you're in the Cypher with the Podheads. I'm your Commander-in-Chief, Frank the Tank, and as always, I'm hanging with my very best buds, JB Perez.
Yeah, what's up? It's JB Perez back in the Cypher with the best of buds here in the Podheads Web Show. Podheads JB on all social media platforms. Hit me up. What's up, bud?
Yes, sir. And of course, making C money.
Hey, everybody, it's Making C Money coming at you from New Jersey on 420 at 420, ironically. Glad to be here, boys. As always, I'm always excited to do the show. I'm ready to rock. Let's fuck shit up.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course. Don't forget about your boy, Frank the Tank, at Podhead Frank on all social media websites. Find us, the Podheads Web Show, on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter. YouTube is the site, guys. Find us on YouTube. Just search the Podheads Web Show, the only one. Accept no imitations. We're the guys doing it out there. So follow us, subscribe, please. Show us some love and holler at us. C Money, give them our number. We got a number where you can call.
Yeah. We're going to have it. We'll actually do it a favor for you guys. We'll pop it up on the screen. It's easier to jot down. But yeah, man, call us in, text, voicemail, call us assholes. I don't care, whatever.
Yeah. We would love to sample some of you guys' response. So whatever you got to say, trust, we are definitely going to play it on the show because we love the interaction no matter what kind of love. So tell C Money to go fuck himself if you're not following.
Yeah, good or bad, we'll play it. So definitely show us some love. We'll show some back. Also, guys, we're going to be at HempFest this year. We'll talk a little bit more about that throughout the episode. But check us out. Get your tickets now before it's too late. JB, what are we going to be talking about today?
Yeah, so like C Money said, man, it's the 420 episode, so we gotta show the love, the celebration. Even though we celebrate 420 every time we're in the Cypher.
Every day.
Every time. We're gonna give our love to the 420 by our first segment being all weed related. We have the week in weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got another episode of Frank's great hemp hacks. We love the last one. So we're going to introduce another one. After that, we're going to talk the duality of media is big into 2018. And then we're going to end the show with some sports. Talk a little bit MMA, WrestleMania, football. It's going to be a good show, y'all.
Yep.
That being said, guys, follow us on all social media sites. Like us on YouTube. We'll be right back. It's the Podheads Web Show.
Yeah. The Podheads Web Show presents Pioneers in Pot.
All right, you're back in the Cypher with the Podheads. I'm your Commander-in-Chief, Frank the Tank, at Podhead Frank on all social media. But before we get started, gentlemen, shall we do this as we always do?
We shall.
Fucking guy jumping the gun and shit.
I'm sorry, it's my favorite time. This is literally what I look forward to every time we record.
Look at all you old-fashioned motherfuckers.
Hey,
what do we got?
Well, you're dabbing over there, Frank the Tank.
I am dabbing. This is the first. You guys usually see me with a blizzy, but I'm dabbing today for a special reason. It's got to do with my hemp hack, and I'm actually smoking my own homemade wax. And it's a lot easier than you think. Tune in for hemp facts on that. C Money, I see you got a pen back there. No more Everclear.
No, I've been waiting to get my hands on these things, man. I love these pens. I mean, honestly, I think this is like the way to smoke now. Like right before you go into a restaurant, a movie theater, I mean anything, just 3 seconds, and you're fucked up.
Fucking in the restaurant, in the movie theater, bro.
Yeah.
I take that shit to the parks. When I take my kids to Disney, I need one of those, bro. Because I'll end up killing somebody if I don't.
Yeah, it's great, man. And this is a sour D, and it tastes like sour D. So how they make the tree taste like this shit, or vice versa?
I love that stuff because it doesn't smell. So you could literally take it anywhere with you with no problem at all. I love it.
Oh, me too, bro. It's like smoking in the future. But forget about the future. What's going on right now with you guys? JB, C Money, what's new?
C Money, what's up, man?
I mean, aside from just fucking doing this shit every day, no, really. I mean, it's been an interesting week. I'm looking forward to God of War coming out on fucking. Oh shit! It came out on 420 actually.
Oh, nice.
Fucking
clever.
Gotta get my hands on that. I don't know if anyone's out there or you guys have ever played God of War. Shit is sick. Game is so sick.
The graphics look great as always.
Ridiculous, and you just kill shit, rip things apart with your hands. It's awesome.
Combo destruction. Yeah, I love that.
But yeah, man, my friends had a party for one of their fathers the other day, and I met a girl that used to go to school with my sister and I, but my sister's 2 years older. So when I was a freshman, she was a junior. And I ran into her at this person's house, and it was so random. I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? And apparently she's cousins with my boy's girlfriend.
Oh,
and I was
cousins with your boy's girlfriend. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
So I was like, holy shit, I haven't seen you in like 14 years. Well, so long story short, I hit it off.
She hot?
And,
that's all we want to know. She hot?
Yeah, she's one of those. She was one of those in high school, man. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And she stayed hot.
Was she single? Was she single?
Yeah.
Okay.
I picked up pretty quick on some of these signs. So
was she flirty? How was she reacting?
Yeah.
How was the vibe?
Like, oh, see money.
Liquid courage too.
Liquid courage, sure.
So that definitely helped, but we'll see. Put a pin in that.
All right, cool,
Okay.
man. We want to hear all about it.
I just want to say this. Speaking of the girls and everything going on, what happened with that chick at the gym you told us about a few episodes ago?
Our fans have been wondering,
I'm
man.
convinced she's been kidnapped and chopped up. I haven't seen that girl since
murdered
at least 2 or 3 weeks at the place.
Wow. After the show, huh?
Somebody called Liam Neeson, bro. This broad's been taken.
Yeah.
Listen, shout out on Netflix. There's a show called Taken, and it's really good. Looking forward to season 2. And you know me and my Netflix. So.
Well, let me get this in while I'm at it. So what I've been up to lately, not a whole lot. Been working. Just trying to I got a promotion recently, so we got to
congratulations.
Celebrate that, making more money. I can't complain about that. Yeah, can't complain about that. Hopefully, I'll get the promotion of a lifetime and just work doing this for myself for the rest of my life. That would be great. But it's interesting because we were talking about the whole gym thing. I was at the gym today, and I actually some random white girl just came up to me and hollered at me, introduced herself. Hey, hi, my name is Meg, and I'm like, okay. I had my headphones on at first, so I didn't hear her, but she just looked at me, had her hand out. So I was just like, okay. Took my headphones off. I'm like, hi, and
wow, very bold of a female.
Yeah. Just straight up introduced herself, and then was just asking me. I didn't put it together at first. I just thought. I don't know. She mentioned that she was new and whatnot. So I was just like, okay, yeah, nice gym, blah, 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 whatever, small talk. And then she says, so you're married, right? I'm like, nah. I'm like, I might as well be. I'm not married, but, I got a girl and whatever. She works out here too sometimes. But, I tried to keep it friendly, but she made it. And then when I said that, she was like, oh, of course. She was disappointed. And I just thought it was so crazy because we were just talking about gym etiquette. And it's funny because we usually leave it up to the girl, right? We mentioned, is it bad for a guy to holler at a girl? That was the initial question. But here I am in a position where the girl has no problem.
Opposite.
Yeah.
Right.
And
it's very bold. Like I said, it's not the norm. To me, it doesn't seem like it's the norm.
No.
It's not.
Right. That's rare cases. And I'm not that good looking, as you can see.
Bummer. That would have been a nice story.
I got
a homeboy.
I know, right? I got a guy, C Money. Who...
You could have said, I have this fucking degenerate fucking Italian dude. He'll fly down here now.
You gotta change your ways, C Money. You gotta change that degenerate shit to like at least the third date, bro. You gotta get in the door.
Fake it till you make it.
Right.
C Money's too real, bro. C Money's just too real for that shit, dog.
Yeah. You know what? And I think that's probably the best thing you could do. Is just keep it 100.
Supermodels to go fuck themselves.
I can't believe I'm about to quote Kanye West, but I don't need your pussy. I'm on my own dick.
Hey!
Ever since I heard that quote, I'm like, wow, he hit it on the head. Like, yeah. And what else does he say? There's 1,000 of you. There's only one of me.
That's
sure. Show self-confidence. Because most of these women are just like that. They, show confidence and you're good. But for me, no, I've been doing the same. Just working it, the good old 9 to 5, even though it's not straight 9 to 5. Dealing with a lot of ugly ass weather again. I feel like I'm the damn potheads meteorologist around here. It is mid-April. We're dealing with snow still.
That's
freezing
crazy.
Rain, snow, wind. It went from 65 to 34 within hours.
It was
within
80.
hours.
It was 84 on Saturday here in New Jersey. Frank the Tanks all weekend. 80, 85
That's crazy.
today. Snow, sleet, hail.
Wow.
Rain.
Unbelievable. It's crazy.
We're fucking dying, man.
Stuff like that makes me think global warming isn't real, but I know that shit is real as it gets. But it's crazy. Just the weather, it's wild.
You guys are too far north. Too far north, bro.
Sure. That's very true.
I want to live in a place that's got snow, but that has more than 2 seasons, not just summer and fucking winter.
No such thing, bro.
Yeah,
There's
bro.
No such thing.
Colorado, southern Colorado, brother. A little bit of snow in the winter. You get some snow in the winter, but the summers are nice and fair, and of course, Colorado.
Fair.
So I would love to move to a place like Colorado.
Like Aspen.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So then I've been, like I said, dealing with that, doing the 9 to 5. I've been watching a lot of sports. We're gonna talk sports later, but I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big hockey fan. You guys watch hockey?
Absolutely not.
Have you ever been to a game?
No, I just can't get away. I can't find an interest in hockey.
Then you can't. Okay, we always say that I hate when people say no to weed if they never tried it. Don't say no to hockey if you've never been to a hockey game.
I've tried.
It is intense.
Let me say this.
Awesome. It is fun.
Let me say this because we've got some listeners in Canada, and I don't want to offend our brothers up north. But I appreciate hockey players. Like, let me tell you something. Anybody who can pretty much play fucking rugby and fucking hockey on skates, I mean, it's a mixture between like football and like whatever, hockey, I guess. Yeah. But you're on skates. That alone, that dynamic alone makes it hard as fuck. Plus, the referees let you fight, so you got to have some balls. You know what I mean? And I think just recently, I watched some highlight on ESPN where the dude, I mean, just the things that these guys can do with these pucks doesn't seem possible to me. I appreciate the sport. These guys are badasses, but I just can't. It's like golf to me. You know, I just can't get into it, bro.
No, man. I enjoy it. The Boston Bruins are in the playoffs and they're doing great.
They're always in the playoffs. Of course you like hockey.
New England sports, bro, we are world champs and we expect to win in a lot of sports, and we are this year. We're in the playoffs in all 3 sports. We're doing great in baseball.
Fucking Sox. Fucking Sox. Bruins. Fucking Pate and the Pats. Or fucking Tom Brady and fucking New England clam chowder.
It's delicious. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. Been watching a lot of hockey. But what I am planning to do, since this is our 420 episode, we do have a 420 event up here where we're at. It's called Extravaganza. I hope I don't get sued using your name, but I'm giving you props. Because shit been going on lately. Anyways, inside joke. But Extravaganza, we're going to put the Pothead shirt on and we're going to go just mingle, show some love. So if you are a listener up in Massachusetts or any of the New England area, come through, give us a shout out, meet up, take a picture. We'll do it all. Extravaganza on the 21st, since 420 lands on a Friday this year. And most events happen on a Saturday. So that's what I've been up to, gentlemen.
That's pretty awesome.
that's a segue to the Weed and Week.
You still fucked it
Fucking
up.
said it wrong again. God damn, you said the same
The
word
week-
twice.
You are so dyslexic.
The Weed and Week.
The week
and
in weed, yes.
We're just gonna call it. You know what? I claim today the Podheads on the 420 episode. We're gonna name this segment the Weed and Week.
And then next fucking week he'll be used to saying week and weed and fuck it all
So
up.
this is the Weed and Week.
Fucking Charlie Kelly over here.
So we're just gonna talk about the locals news that has been happening. Not local, but the world news that has been going on in the world regarding 420 and weed. So the first news I got for you is we're gonna start in Florida. All right, we are actually gonna be in HempFest this year, and one of HempFest's goals and reasons to be around is to push the medical marijuana motion. It has been legalized in Florida, but there's still a lot of red tape. Okay, the news coming out of Florida, is that a gentleman who has been approved for medical marijuana was not allowed to grow his own medical marijuana plants in his yard. Okay, long story short, taking it to the court agreed that he should be able to grow his own marijuana plants in his house for medical marijuana plants. So he won. They're passing. That sets a precedent in a state where there's still a lot of red tape in Florida for medical marijuana. So shout out to that judge and that ruling down in Florida.
That's pretty interesting.
Amazing
If
how
I
it's
may.
legal, but not legal, right?
Legal, but yeah.
You can't smoke it. You can't smoke
Can't even
it in
smoke it.
Florida.
Can't roll it. Can't smoke it.
Fucking
Like, what do you
stupid.
want? A pill? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, I'm out.
So-
I'm out.
All right, moving on with the Weed and Week.
Fucking guy.
I like numbers. I'm a statistics guy, especially when we deal with marijuana. I like the data. I like the studies. I like things like that. The facts that back it up. Okay, researchers studying Medicare numbers. And basically, Medicare is people over 65. Okay, so it's that population. Okay, and a population that actually surprised me. Okay, but that the numbers show use marijuana as a medicine for pain. And I'm going to give you some numbers. Basically, this research shows that in states where medical marijuana is legal, they found a 14% reduction in opioid prescriptions in those states. 14 might not sound like a lot, but when we're talking about millions of people, it's a significant number.
Oh, yeah.
So in those states, they saw that number rise. The relation is there. People are using weed for pain. And letting go of the opioid. So we are seeing a change in the trend of, this opioid crisis that, this grip America. And I'm glad it's marijuana doing its thing there.
It's almost like weed is saving the day here. And
Dun, da, da, da.
Yeah.
But
I believe
weed
it.
is the gateway drug that leads to heroin.
No, that is
You
an
know
old
what I mean? Like,
mentality.
such bullshit.
The plant has been on the earth for hundreds of millions of years, and people have been cultivating it and using it for hundreds and thousands of years. And only because 100 years ago somebody said something,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Come on, y'all. Let's move on. And the last thing in the Weed and Week, the last news in the Weed and Week. Speaking of cultivation and farming, okay? I don't know if you guys know, but the top Republican, Mitch McConnell. I don't know if people know the name, but that should be a name to you if you're following politics. He's a top Republican. He's a leader in that group, okay? He actually is pushing a bill to decriminalize hemp on the federal level, okay? Now, that might seem like, what, marijuana? No, not quite, okay? You can actually take the fiber of the marijuana plant, the tree of it, and make hemp out of it. Okay, you can make clothes, fiber, paper, ropes, carpets, cardboard. It literally could be a direct replacement for paper. Okay, that has been illegal just as long as marijuana has been illegal for different reasons, right? So this bill is now being pushed to decriminalize hemp, and we'll see a brand new avenue of reusable, it takes 6 months for a marijuana plant while it takes trees years, decades to grow, to kill it and cut it down. I mean, it's a very good, promising avenue. So I have to give a shout out to Mitch McConnell. That's great. I'm with it.
Let me touch on that if you don't mind. back in, I think, the 1600s, dude, or 1700s. Like, we're talking, you know, when we were just some colonies, it was actually required to grow hemp in the support of the colonies.
Of the colony, because of its uses, how much things you could do with it. Absolutely.
I mean, it's a miracle plant. And just to clarify, hemp is basically the same plant as marijuana. It just doesn't have as much. It's got like almost less than 1% THC in it, something like that. It's basically a THC-less marijuana plant. They call it hemp.
JB Perez is on board, man. I want to be a farmer when I grow up, legit. And I think hemp would be the perfect plant for me. So if you want to invest right now, it's the time. Get on board because it is happening.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And that's the Weedy Week.
Great job. Great job. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Well, look, guys, that was very educational, but I want to drop some knowledge on you as well. You know I'm big on higher learning. We got a new segment. We did one last week. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I got a new one for you for this week's Hemp Hack. Okay, Hemp Hacks is something where I show everybody how to do life hacks related to all things marijuana. So you might learn something. You might find some that you could actually suggest to me. So hit me up on social media, Podhead Frank, and I'll check them out. So anyway, what do? We take an idea, we test it out, research it, come back to you with the grade. Guys, I'm introduced to you this one, and you know what? I didn't even think of a name for this one, so maybe y'all can help me out. But basically, we're going to show you how to make your own homemade wax in a matter of seconds with using only some parchment paper and a hair iron or a flat iron. So check this out check this out. Podheads Web Show Hemp Hacks.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Frank the Tank from the Podheads Web Show, here to bring you another edition of Hemp Hacks. This edition is called Flat or Shatter. We're going to teach you how to make homemade shatter using nothing but a straightening iron, some parchment paper, and a little bit of butter.
First, you'll need a decent-sized bud. In this case, I used about 1/2 gram. Some parchment paper, not wax, a scraping tool, and of course, a straightening iron. One with an adjustable heat setting is best. Next, you're going to just wrap your bud in some parchment paper. Make sure that you wrap it good, otherwise it might slip out. Then place that paper in between the hot surfaces. Then, using something resistant to heat, in my case I used an oven mitt, firmly press down on the iron, squeezing the bud for about 5 to 10 seconds. You will notice some puffs of vapor coming out of the sides of the parchment. Finally, unwrap and check out your yield. The simplicity of this hack is awesome. I really enjoyed it, but I'm not sure it's worth all the work for the amount of yield you get. I give this hack 3 buds.
And you're back in the cypher with the Podheads. This is Making C Money at Making C Money on all handles, all social media handles. Here with my best buds, Frank the Tank. That's some crazy shit. I don't know.
That was very, very interesting. A lot of the weight didn't match in my book. The money value didn't match in my book, but it's a very good way to home make it. Not very hard. Okay.
No, yeah, I always thought it was some fucking chemistry, fucking Breaking Bad.
Right. I didn't know it was like that either. I really didn't. My ignorance, my weed ignorance.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because it hit me the other day. The more that I get into the online community, and I see some of these pros on Instagram, we're gonna try to get in one of these Instagram ballers when it comes to weed community on our show, so we could kind of talk to them, talk about their influence. But ultimately, I'm seeing these people with all kinds of products I've never heard of, smoking out of things I've never seen before, and it's made me feel like, my goodness, I need to step my game up. And this is kind of why I'm getting into the hemp hacks and just trying to learn everything I can. I mean, I'm trying to read a little bit about bud every single day. There's a lot out there. I mean,
we're just scratching
whole
the
science.
Surface, that.
Exactly. So what do you guys think? What would you give it? I'm gonna give it 3 buds. I'm gonna give it 3 buds, and I mentioned that in the video because it works fine, and it's a cheap way to get some wax. It's a safe way to get some wax. But the yield is very small. I mean, you get about a half an ounce. As I said in the video, you get about a half an ounce of bud makes you about 1 gram of wax. So depending on how much you're smoking of the wax, it may or may not be worth it. What do you guys think?
I mean, it really depends. Like, it depends how, we smoke to get high. That's the goal, right? So, like this thing, for instance, 3 big hits, hold it in for like 5-6 seconds. I'm like, whoa, like, but it depends, man. If it only takes a little fucking nail dab to get me where I want to be, then that gram will last a minute. I mean,
Yeah,
I can go through a half of bud in a week, easy. I mean, because
I guess we would have to test it out to definitely see. I'm gonna give it just a little less than you, 2 buds, half. This is a scale out of 4, right?
Sure,
Frank?
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give it 2 buds just because the yield is so low. I would understand if I was mass producing it and just get a big press and get a lot of it for just 1 press. I get that, but to try it out and see if it works, I have no problem with that at all. And if it gets you high, it gets you high,
Exactly. What I haven't tried out is smoking the bud thereafter, the leftover bud, which I got to try that and see what that's like.
Interesting. There might not be any left, because isn't that, in theory, you've pulled all that out?
Well,
We don't know.
Pothead scientist. I put liquid paper on a bee and it died.
It died. Fucking, forgot what I was gonna say now.
My bad.
Oh man.
Talk about the oil?
It might be like, like when you vape bud, there's still brown, nasty looking shit left, but fucks you up. Even though you vaped like the goodness out of it, Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I don't want to be at that level. I don't want to have to brown out and have to find out how much weed is left.
Oh my God! You know what, JB? You just reminded me, actually.
That's what I do.
New Year's resolutions. We talked New Year's resolutions in the beginning of the new year. I want to know if you guys are keeping up with yours, because you just said you don't want to get in that situation where you got to be desperate.
Right.
One of my resolutions was not to run out of bud all year. And so far, even though I've gotten out to scraps at least once or twice,
You haven't?
I have not run out, and it's been great. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So I'm working, and I'm still reading, and I'm still working out. So I gotta
look at my list, because I don't remember.
So you definitely fucking failed your resolution.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts, Rick, because I was so animated. I remember.
Shit.
I gotta look. I gotta remember what I said. I'm just.
What about you, C-Money?
And it's April, so you failed.
C-Money, you remember yours?
Yeah, mine was make memories, get back into shape, and yeah, I've been doing it.
Oh shit, yeah.
Definitely done a lot in the past. 4 months. I got here the end of December. Yeah, I've gone a lot of places. I've gone to numerous shows with my friends up here, and yeah, so that's worked out.
Cool.
And I'm definitely in
JB.
the best shape I've ever been, strongest I've ever been, biggest. Yeah. So
Nice.
we'll see.
Nice,
Those fucking
dude.
steroids help.
Oh.
Nah, I'm kidding.
The potheads do not fucking condone any illegal activity.
Steroids are too expensive. God damn it.
That big. Imagine I just show up in 2 weeks to Florida with like 30-inch biceps. Fucking
Dude, I'm like, you need to go to the fucking hospital. Because that shit is not healthy. That shit is not real.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
It reminds me of that Potheads, of that Family Guy episode where Popeye was in the fucking room and the doctor was talking about how he had a stroke and his fucking arms are all fucked up.
Yeah, we got checked. I don't remember what he says, but he's like, yeah, we got this shit checked before.
Yeah,
It's not fucking normal.
Because his biceps are this big, and then his forearms are
it's
he's
fucking
like,
ridiculous.
This isn't normal, right? Like,
I remember that
That's
episode. There are
great.
some great Family Guy episodes.
have you
Yeah.
guys ever seen Rick and Morty?
Dude, everybody,
Yeah.
all the stoners tell me about that show.
Never watched it
and
before up until
never.
a week ago. Oh man, yeah.
Is it good? Really? That good?
It's just like Family Guy, but it's way more brutal. Like, people die in horrible, funny, just crazy ways, and it's all about space and aliens. So there's these crazy
Yeah, I don't
fucking
know.
things that they come up with and draw. I promise you, watch 3 episodes and you'll be hooked. It's funny.
I've seen some commercials for that shit, and it's advertised everywhere. I mean, it's a big deal.
It's on Hulu, I think. Otherwise, it's on at like 4:30 in the morning, which none of us are watching. The whole Adult Swim. But yeah, it's very Family Guy, Metalocalypse, Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Adult Swim cartoon, kind of, adult humor. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
That's TV, man. That's the media, man.
Let me get us on track so we can get this thing going, because we could talk cartoons all fucking day. Trust me. As a matter of fact, we should have a cartoon podcast. Stand by on that. Anyway. Hey.
That might be a great idea.
Yeah, I know, right? Show your favorite clips and shit. Anyway, write that shit down. Guys, I want to talk to you guys about something. For the last few weeks, I keep forgetting. Obviously, smoke too much. But every freaking morning on my way to work, I hear this commercial. And it drives me nuts because I can't figure out whether it's racist or not.
If you have to ask the question, then it probably is a real.
Well, let me give you an example. Here's what it is. It's for a credit repair company. And
it's fucking racist. You know who they're fucking targeting.
There are no white people in that.
Hold on.
You know who's running
okay,
it. You know
hold on. Well, let me say. So let me give you. I'm gonna break down the 2 commercials for you. You tell me which one's black, which one's white.
All right, I will wait for both commercials.
Just wait for both. I'll try to keep them quick. The first one is. After my divorce, my credit took kind of a spill, and Credit One, I don't know the name. I'm just making this up. Credit One Repair really helped me out of a bind, and I was able to secure a home loan, and this, that, and third. It was a great process. They were really friendly. Okay. All right, that's commercial A. The next day, commercial B is, Credit One. My credit was in really bad shape. I had the IRS offsetting my checks, and Credit One, it was a real simple process. They fixed me like 1, 2, 3. You should definitely call Credit One if you need to. Yeah. So what do you think?
So the question, is it racist?
Obviously, a white guy situation, right?
Correct.
A white guy speaking, and then obviously a black guy. And I mean, why can't the black guy speak, proper and just say, I had a good time?
Sure.
He just was like so ghetto. I mean, so what do you guys think?
It's the argument's always gonna be from their side. It's customer. The fuck am I thinking?
It's like target marketing, right? It's
target
reaching out demographics.
Underline that shit. That's target marketing.
They know their demographic, man.
The demographics. Let's keep it super 100. Is that how most? Damn, that's crazy. You're pushing a very fucking fine line, especially if you're a white company, because I bet you it's white people who run that shit. That's a very fine line. But it's because a black person said it. It's okay, right? So they'll call it target marketing. I'm not black. Maybe if they go, hey, vato loco, you need to fix your fucking credit. You know what I mean? They're like, damn, nigga, really? I can understand regular English.
Well, how come in every Latin commercial's got to be salsa in the background? Every time there's and it's only certain companies that do this, like McDonald's. You ever see a commercial with McDonald's and it's fucking, a couple black kids fucking breakdancing outside, and then but you would see commercials like that, and it'd be like ba-da-ba-ba-ba. White commercial is like.
That's a white person that does that probably. So.
and then the other commercial is like a white guy just walks up to the counter with his daughter, and they're just smiling ordering a fucking apple pie. So you see this all the time, bro. Commercials targeted.
Target. They're always gonna call it, and I bet you in some book in marketing class they have this description and call it target marketing.
I mean, it's like I just always think of Disney, man. Disney commercials are probably the most racist
That's a good example.
I've ever seen.
They always have a black, a white, and a Chinese family, no matter what.
Always.
Asian, black, white, and maybe Latino.
And they know what's up. But I mean, they know what they're doing, man. Like I'm the least racist person ever. I could give a fuck what you do, skin, all that shit. I don't give a fuck. But they know what they're doing, man. Like they know who their clientele is.
We're the generations that's different, guys. They're marketing to older people, to your family, keep it in your circle. To us, we don't give a shit. We're all the same, right? So it's they're marketing to older mentalities.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, our parents' generation, they're mostly racist. If not all of our parents are fucking racist.
The baby boomers?
Yeah, they're racist as shit, man. I mean, I can't tell you how many times.
But see, Money's right. See, Money is absolutely right.
So racist.
We've all said it, nobody thinking. My
generation.
Mom's a racist? Fucking. It's true, though. It's true. I'm not really. Not.
They had fucking Kennedy and Nixon and Reagan and all them, bro.
They lived through, that time, and it was,
It's so let me ask you this. See, Money, if you see a commercial for McDonald's with a white guy on it, does it make you want to does it make you want to eat McDonald's any more or any less than if it was a black guy in the commercial?
No.
So, JB, if you see a Spanish family walking up to Disney gates, do you feel like going to Disney?
Absolutely not. I'm like, oh, my homie from fucking Mexico is going to Disney. It's going to make me, because I feel now because, you know what I mean? It doesn't click for me. It doesn't click that I have to see someone of my same race purchase something to me feel like I can also purchase that thing. Like,
it's fucked up that they have to do that.
Exactly. To me, it feels like, I get it, though. Target marketing, right? It's all about the Benjamin.
So, do you think that certain people would be right in boycotting, or you think that's a little extra? You know how people will say, don't shop for these guys anymore because...
Listen, as long as you don't say the N-word, you're probably do basically whatever. I mean, you're talking about breakdancing, right? You're talking about, you can come to your credit, fix your credit.
Yeah.
If they really hooked it up. You can pretty much say anything you want as long as you don't say the N-word. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what are you really picketing? Did you say monkey or did you make fun of? No, you're trying to get black people to come get your shit fixed, right? Which is their target market. So I get it. I don't think you need it, but I get it.
And it's so crazy that there's no easy way for me to say this. Like, and I'm trying
to say it, brother. You're not.
No, it's a very.
See, Money is not racist. Just say what you gotta say.
But not for nothing. Most people I've met, most black people I've met or ever spoken to, speak with that kind of slang and everything. Very rarely have I ever met a black person that spoke with zero to little slang. I fucking use slang. And I grew up in Bergen County, New Jersey, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So it's it is, especially in Florida, for instance, bro, every fucking person down there talks with hood, slang, ghetto, white, black, Spanish. They all do. So
I have heard people in education, teachers, professors, talk like they're straight out of, goddamn Amistad or some shit. But I've also, met many young kind of hip people who had a better vocabulary than most. I've met plenty of black people who talk white. Who, if you were talking to them on the phone, you wouldn't even know. And I shouldn't say talk white. Who use proper grammar and not speak Ebonics. You know what I mean? But I get what you're saying. See, Money. It's not like, I think any better. I feel like I'm any better because we talk the same. It's a class. I think it's more about class level than it is about.
And again. It
color.
Goes
race.
Back to
race.
The fucking racist generation, dude. They're the, fucking black people. No, that's the older generation. If my teacher spoke to me the way that I'm speaking right now, I would have been so much friendlier with my teachers because I'd be like, they talk like me. Like, this is so cool. Dude, when I was doing that urgent care gig, this is how I spoke to people. And I got the best reviews out of anybody else because I was real. I wasn't like, hello, sir, welcome today. How are you feeling? I was like, hey, man, what's going on? How are you?
I watch these documentaries a lot, bro, and I hate when you can tell people are just faking the interaction. Like, and I hate documentaries that fake shit. You're a documentary. Keep it real. I hate it. Don't keep it. Don't fake it. But Frank, I want to give you props for what you said. I want to give you props. I think we need to get away from race. Once all this generation, it's not race, it's class. Because white people, black people, Asian people are poor, middle class, and rich. And there's a very distinct relationship between black people up here and Puerto Rican people up here and those over here.
Yeah.
And that's very, very true.
Because
don't make it believe that it's not.
I've met plenty of rich black people who are way too uppity to hang out with fucking ghetto black people. And I know a lot of Latinos that have made it that look down, that are mad bougie now. So real quick, we got to get into, we got to keep it moving. But while we're on race, did you guys hear about what happened at Starbucks? 2 guys arrested for what? I don't know, loitering?
For being black, brother. It was racial profiling. If you look in the dictionary, I'm sure everybody have seen it already. It was pretty viral. These 2 black guys were just chilling in Starbucks, waiting on a friend person
who was a white guy, by the way.
Who happened to be a white guy. They were going to talk. They were going to talk real estate. Okay, I've met people in Starbucks and waited and done business transactions. So that's what they were there, just waiting. The Starbucks people called the cops, and 7 motherfucking cops came and arrested these 2 black guys who didn't even say anything from the very beginning. Everybody else in Starbucks was standing up for these 2 gentlemen, and they still got arrested. Were sent to jail for 24 hours, bro. Because why? Because they were black.
And here's the thing, they were dressed in like sweats.
They were dressed in themselves.
And that's how I am. Like I dress, that's
Chill.
my style. I dress hip hop style, and I might be a stoner, but I could also put on a suit and I can discuss, anything with just about anybody, depending on if I'm sober or not, or if I'm in the zone. But mainly, I could be out and go to a Starbucks in some little shorts and chancletas, and a wife beater just to grab a coffee or something, or sit outside, get some sun. So the fact that these people were profiled, and that's what it was, they were profiled. Now, here's the thing, if they were sitting there in fucking suit and tie, maybe they don't get caught.
Of course not.
But the fact that they were black and the fact that they were just kind of dressed street chilling, didn't help. You know what I mean? But that's a race thing. This lady, the one who called, she was clearly had some fucked up
preconceptions. Some higher preconceptions about black people.
Oh yeah,
especially black men dressed like that, and they're sitting here doing nothing, waiting. I mean, she's looking. Are we gonna get robbed? Are we gonna go? I mean, let's real. That's exactly what that's why she called the cops. And I bet you, I don't know the facts, but I bet you her training might have been there saying, if you feel threatened, I don't know, uncomfortable, threatened, whatever, call the motherfucking cops. And that's what she did. My problem is with the city. The city, one cop, all that had to happen was one cop say what they do.
Yeah.
Well, look, that's the argument. That's the big argument right now, because people are fucking what's the word I'm looking for? Condemning the city, the city officials, the police officers. By the way, the police chief is black. Now here's the thing: Kevin Jones, the CEO of Starbucks, has issued a personal statement saying that the police the arrest was reprehensible, and he has scheduled a meeting with these guys so that he can discuss how to, number one, apologize in person. He wants to apologize face to face, but he also wants to be able to discuss with these guys on how they can avoid this happening to other people in the future. I give it to him for making an effort.
Oh yeah, he didn't have to do shit.
Yeah. But the cops. Yeah. The cops, though, here's the thing. For me, I lean right on certain subjects, even though, I don't call myself a fucking, liberal. I think I have very, kind of right.
Middle. You're middle. You're middle.
I'm right down the middle, exactly. Yeah, and I'm, I'm all for the good cops. Now, here's the thing. When you're a cop, just like when you're in the military or anything else, there's certain rights that you don't really have when in uniform. And one of those is the right to use your own judgment in certain situations. Now, I think that if I was a police officer and I walked in on this and I said, well, what'd they do? And everybody said nothing, then maybe, maybe I would react, I would try to cool the situation down. But here's the way this went down. The cops asked the guys to leave. They said, listen, look, I'm sorry. They said, I'm sorry about this, but can you just please leave? The proprietor of this establishment doesn't want you in here. They have a right to refuse service to anybody, right?
Good.
And so you have to leave, otherwise you'll be arrested because they don't want you here. The guys didn't want to leave. Now, granted, they wanted to stand up for their right, for what they believed in.
Glad they did. I'm
And
glad
if they would have left them, we probably wouldn't have ever heard about it. You know what I mean? So it's probably a good thing that they stayed. But the cops, I mean, they have to look at certain things black and white. Number one, they can't grab the guys and physically remove them out of there, right? Without there being some kind of issue there. They can't sit there and tell the manager of that Starbucks, I'm not gonna do what you're asking me. You know, so what do? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure one of them had to have had the wisdom of calling it in to their watch commander and saying, look, here's the
Seven cops
situation.
came. Seven cops came. They were expecting a situation.
Yeah.
I understand. Now that you say that, I didn't know the facts about that they were asked to leave. But you know what? I'm glad they didn't. But still, the situation, it doesn't make any sense, especially when the gentleman that they were meeting, if you want to keep it black and white, when the situation became even more so black and white, when the gentleman they were meeting showed up and said, yeah, they're here for me, why do they still got to go to jail?
Yeah.
I mean, put him in handcuffs and go watch the surveillance footage. It'll take you 10 fucking seconds.
Exactly. Okay, fine. Let him go outside. Go in the car. All right, what's up? You rude? All right, bye. See you later. You're left. But they took him to jail. Processed him, threw him to jail. It was in Philadelphia.
Philly, of all places.
Yeah,
and,
brother, love my ass.
Yeah. So there are, there's still a lot of issues out there with racism, classism, all that kind of shit. But thanks to the internet and social media, we're able to see these things almost instantly and react, and it forces companies like this to take responsibility and do things. So there's some positivity. There's definitely a lot of positives going on with social media.
But let's go to break, y'all. We've been talking about all this media, Facebook, social media, but that's the life. It's 2018. That's the future. Either you get on board or you're left behind, man. Your choice, okay? Well, let's go to break. Let's not forget, we're on YouTube. We need your subscription. We need your comments. We need your likes. So please, if you're watching this, thank you for sticking with us. It's the Podheads Web Show. We'll be right back.
You're back in the cypher with the Podheads. Your Commander-in-Chief, Frank the Tank, at Podhead Frank on all social media. Find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. So I'm excited because Ronda Rousey, I wanted to tell you guys, I know you guys aren't big on WWE. I grew up on it. Shout out to WWE and all the fans out there. I lost contact for a while, but my son got me back into it. And we watch it, talk about it. It's fun. Anyway, global news. Ronda Rousey, right, who had retired from MMA, signed this contract with WWE. She made her debut. We talked about it on an earlier episode. She made her debut at WrestleMania. That was just last week. And I got to be honest with you. I can't say that I've ever been a Rousey fan. I can't say that I've ever disliked her. I just thought, besides calling that knockout, back in the day, with her getting knocked out by Holmes, that's the only real time I ever doubted her. But anyway, I didn't have much faith in her, and I'm mad at myself for that because the wrestling business, it's tough because you're not really punching somebody. You're not really doing what you got to do. You're not really getting hit. So you have to really be able to sell that shit. You're telling a story in the ring, everything. The looks on your face is being scrutinized. You can hear what you're saying. You can't really sit there and talk a whole lot. Your reactions, it's all being watched, and especially for her, it's tenfold. Because half the people love her, half the people want to see her, see how green she is, and see her fuck up. Brother, I got to tell you, she did a tag team match, if you don't know, with Kurt Angle, a WWE legend, her and Kurt Angle versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, the Authority. Well, obviously, they put 3 legends in the ring with her to kind of carry her. You know what I mean? They wanted to have a good match. They wanted some experienced people in there. You know, if they fuck it up, if they fuck her name up, they ain't got nobody else to blame but themselves. But let me tell you, I was blown away.
Sure, she did a great job.
She killed hands down, best WrestleMania debut I have ever seen, bro. She sold it with the emotion. She sold it with the reaction. Every hit, there's maybe one hiccup in the match, and you could barely notice it. And you see that even with the most experienced wrestlers, they've never tangled with each other. You know, you got to build some chemistry. So it was a great match, though. I mean, they sold it. There was moments where you thought one team was going to win, moments where you thought the other team was going to win. There was a lot of drama, a lot of action, and my God, she fucking killed it. Every hit looked like she got hit. Every time she did something to somebody else, looked like it hurt. She's a natural, bro. Ronda Rousey, I'll put one in the air for you. I'm a fan. I'm looking forward to seeing her, on the main card. If you haven't seen it, bro, just go back and watch that fight. YouTube it, whatever you can do. She sells it. This is her first match in a wrestling ring, bro. Period. And she looked
WrestleMania. And the biggest platform of WrestleMania.
The biggest event, period, in sports entertainment.
I haven't watched wrestling. I wasn't watched wrestling. I grew up in it. I remember living across the street from the Civic Center and being able to see the cars pulling in.
Yeah.
I was a big fan. But then I fucking went to high school.
And then you grew up.
And then I grew up. And then I never got back in it, maybe because I didn't have kids to bring back in it. But I respect the sport. I had high hopes for her again for the MMA, and her acting skills was not terrible. So you mix that together, and you see, and she could do it, And again, you're telling me I haven't seen it. I plan to watch it now because you got me excited thinking about in my head how it was. Okay. Shout out to Rousey. Good job on her. I guess looking forward to giving her a lot of success in the future.
Fuck yeah.
I just love me some Ronda Rousey. Man.
Yeah, you would own her so hard.
I don't know what it is about that chick, but ever since first fight in UFC, I was just
she's very she's the type for me. She's the type that the more you look at her, the more attractive she looks.
Okay,
So, in the beginning, she was weird looking. She was a little more masculine. Her face was chiseled, a little more, tough looking chick. But then you saw her more, and then she has the feminine side wearing the dresses and her acting and her laugh and her jokes and her personality comes forward, and then it becomes more attractive. That's Ronda Rousey to me. So
and she's that, and she's exactly that in the ring. In the event.
Is she a villain or a good guy?
She's a good guy. Oh, of course, she's a face. They call her a face, or villain is heel, good guy's a face.
Right.
But she's a face, bro. She comes out every time, cheesing, waving to fans, giving high fives. But when she gets in that ring, bro, she's that switch.
Is that it?
She's
That's kind of cool. So I can see her be like, "Hey, what's up, Ronda Rousey? I'm gonna murder you."
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
That's cool.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna want to see it now. So speaking of the MMA, all right. So we talked about this off the show, but we have to bring it in the show because we're all MMA fans, and I'm a big. I like Conor McGregor, but by now everyone has heard the situation with Conor McGregor. I'll give you the cliff notes here. Conor McGregor, before the last pay-per-view during the media day, kind of broke his way into the Barclays Center. He was not invited in. He went through the back, made his way through where
his website had media passes, and the people from his website that were there with media passes let him in the back door.
Okay, so technically yes, technically no, right? Not him, his media team, whatever. But it was him and 20 other guys. So you see there was a big something was not right. Okay.
Shit.
Long story short, there's video of Conor McGregor throwing a metal dolly towards a bus, cracking the window and charring it and hurting some other MMA fighters. I mean, it got pretty serious pretty fast. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I am a fan of Conor McGregor, and I think he's not stupid enough to do this on his own. And here, let me explain. The way I see Conor McGregor, and by the way, on Netflix, I watched his documentary. So shout out to
Bigfoot.
Netflix again. There's a Netflix, there's a documentary on Netflix called The Notorious on Conor McGregor. So I'm already kind of biased to Conor McGregor, but trust me, I'm not condoning this action. It got too far, and that's my point. I think this was a stunt that went too far. And here's my proof. The day of, Dana White almost kicked Conor McGregor out of the UFC. He got arrested. This is atrocious. This, that, and third. I've never seen anything like this. I lost respect. And the very next day, Dana White was like, I have a lot of respect for Conor McGregor. When the last pay-per-view once Habib Nurmagomedov, excuse me if I fuck up his name. This guy fought bears, by the way. I saw the video.
He wrestles bears.
What is he, fucking born in 1860?
When he was a
Russia.
When he was a kid, he used to wrestle bears for training.
Awesome. The video's out there. Check it out. We're going to tag it on YouTube.
I used to wrestle my teddy bear when I was a kid.
All right. Then yours should be an MMA. Let's see how that goes. So anyway, long story short, when Nurmagomedov won his title, that fight was set in stone. That Conor McGregor Nurmagomedov fight,
and the fucking Russian bear fighter.
Yeah, that has to be the next fight to unify the title.
I think. Let me first say, I'll sum it all up with this sentence: cocaine is a hell of a drug. I think McGregor was fucking lit the fuck up. Saw the shit, didn't the day before one of his teammates got cornered by Habib and everybody. That was like the whole thing. He's trying to help his boy out. Now, I'm torn between the two. Some of these posts on Twitter and shit made me laugh because you had like some people saying this motherfucker flew halfway around the world in his private plane, filled it with his buddies to go help his friend. That's some hardcore shit.
That's some Irish fucking gangster shit, right?
But,
right.
At first I always thought this too. I always think the UFC, or always thought the UFC turned into WWE years ago, maybe a year or two ago. They changed. It's not just about the fighting now. Dana White obviously wants a piece of that pie. He sees how much money can be made in the showmanship and all the bullshit and the hype and the shit talking and all that. And I get it. It's business. It's money. But when I stopped believing that this was all planned was when 3 fucking fights got taken off of that card, when this fighter got sharded in the face, wants to sue him now. I mean, the fighter couldn't fight on this card because of what Conor did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, directly. He got hit in the face with the glass. That motherfucker just probably lost out on a 6-figure fight. So, Conor's...
We owe him for that fight at least, yeah.
Yeah.
He's still in his 20s, right? Even though he comes from humble beginnings, he comes from a rough area. Bro, you have seen... people from the hood in boxing, people from the hood in all kinds of sports flip the hell out. Look at baseball. Somebody gets hit with a ball, these guys are running up, brawling on each other. We all act before we think. And when you're fucking a 6-figure millionaire, when you got money to burn, I mean, and nobody say no, nobody tell you no. I mean, look, you see this shit all the time, man. Bro. He's the fucking Justin Bieber of the MMA. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let me not say that. Is he the Muhammad Ali? Is he the Muhammad Ali of MMA? Did he turn MMA into a circus?
A little bit. This went too far, and it does really take a little sliver out of his fucking book.
Legacy, yeah.
His legacy. No, this has got real serious. He got arrested. He had to bond his way out. He's gonna get sued. But it kind of felt it lined up with the UFC and their next fucking pay-per-view in October. I mean, how much more hype can you get? They're gonna be like, Nurmagomedov jail. I mean, it's perfect for that industry and that fight particular.
Well, maybe he didn't know his own strength. Maybe he didn't know his own strength. Maybe he grabbed that shit, intending to throw, and it caused some little drama, and then, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So
now, imagine if that was the case. So, obviously... fucking Dana White isn't gonna ever admit that. I mean, what do you say to the fighters that couldn't fight because of the shit that they planned? But sorry guys.
Well, they'll never know. Sue Conor McGregor his ass. Sue him. They're gonna win. They're gonna win.
Basically, you say sorry. How much do I owe you? Yeah, what do I owe you?
$100,000. Here you go.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, Dana and Conor both have that. I mean...
Oh, absolutely. UFC will probably pay for it underhanded, bro. Yeah. That's their baby, bro. Conor McGregor has done everything that the UFC has asked him and more. For that McGregor fight, or for that Mayweather fight, the UFC bankrolled, I think, $100 million as well. So that they will do anything for Conor McGregor, and that's why I believe it was a stunt that went too far. But I can't wait for that fight.
Let's keep it moving, guys. Competition in sports, right? There is no competition really against the UFC, but we might have some competition against the NFL. We already heard, speaking of Vince McMahon, WWE, the XFL making its comeback in 2020, I think.
Yeah.
Well, they just came out with the AAF, Alliance of American Football. This was announced just like a few weeks ago. And they're going to be starting up next year. Next year is going to be their inaugural season.
Football.
8 teams. They haven't announced any of the locations except for the one. Do you know where?
I do.
Orlando, Florida
gets the first team in the AAF, man.
And Steve Spurrier is going to be the head coach. So that's actually, it's kind of a big deal. They had some star power to there. But they're saying that there's going to be 8 teams. There's going to be a playoffs, championship, all that shit. It's going to be kind of like the NFL, but there's going to be 50-man rosters. There's going to be, no television timeouts, 60% fewer commercials. They're going to cut the time from 180 minutes to 150 minutes. And there's no touchbacks. There's a lot of little things. You could search for it for yourself, but there's a lot of new changes to it. They think they're going to be bigger rivals to the NFL than the XFL.
Why? What is with the out of nowhere? I think we could beat NFL. Like, why is everyone trying to beat the NFL? I don't understand this.
They've been getting a little fewer ratings over the last few years.
Right. So somebody sees all right. So let's think about it. Football, we love fucking, and I watched the video, so much of my words are gonna come from the video that I watched from AAF. So it's like a spokesperson for AAF, but they had a very good point. There is a period of time that we don't have football, and they don't, from the end of February to October, whenever it starts. There is a long period without football, and their research says that I'll tell you the numbers right here. There are 19 million watchers of football alone. There are 3 million combined of the other sports, so it's not even close. Yeah. They say there are millions of those 19s don't even watch any other sport other than football. So they felt there is a market for this spring football. Now, it's not the first time we haven't seen. We talked XFL, okay? It's not the first time we've seen other leagues try to compete with the NFL. Why I give AFL a little bit of props is this, because they're not at the same time as the NFL. Some of the rules are really cool. So I think for the first couple years, they'll have a fan base because it's very gimmicky, okay? And they are embracing fantasy football. The league is going to give out prizes for fantasy football. Wow. Okay, so they're really kind of embracing. So they are going to have an initial following just because of how different it is. Spring football, we love football. Fantasy football, we love fantasy football. Check out these rules. They're going to get rid of the kickoff, okay? No more kickoff. So safety is a big deal for it. So no kickoff, okay? So if you don't have kickoff, what do you do with the onside kick if you need the ball back? Check out this rule. If you want an onside kick, you have a choice of taking it on instead of the 25, without the no kickoff, everybody gets it on the 25. If you want an onside kick, quote unquote, you take it on the 35, 4th, and 10. So you got to go 10 yards, all or nothing. If you don't make it 10 yards, you give the ball at the 35 to the other team. I think that is a great,
that is much better
rule.
Yeah,
that's pretty damn cool.
The kickoff. Yeah, the kickoff is bullshit. Put that rule in. So we're going to see that in this league. So that's going to be great. You said 8 teams. That onside rule, everybody's going to have to do 2-point conversions. There's no kicking game, basically. They're taking the kicking game off. They're going to have punters, but no kicking game. So everybody has to go for 2-point conversion.
Wow.
And that's pretty much it. Everything else will be the same with 8 teams. I think it'll have a following in the very beginning again because it's football and fantasy football, and I'm a big fan of both. So we'll see. And how the XFL is going to be, I think the XFL is fucked because they're a year later and it's a 3rd league.
Dude.
I mean, we love our football, but damn.
Imagine that, bro. Imagine that. These guys, these AAF motherfuckers, have probably been sitting around talking about this for a few years.
They say
but
that. They say
the
that
XFL
for a year is secret.
Yeah, and then think about that. The XFL says 2 years we're gonna come out. These guys say fuck it, let's announce it now and beat them by a year.
Bam.
Crazy,
That's
bro.
Exactly what happened.
And guess
these
what?
Are names. And these are names that we know from football. So
well,
it has
speaking of
some
names, who do you think the first team Orlando has been announced? They reached out to a quarterback already. Tebow. They're trying to bring back Tim Tebow, baby.
Tebow.
The resurrected Jesus of football. Yeah, bro.
For the FCC, yeah.
He would bring a ton of fans just for people to see him play again.
I mean,
so
the three of us are consumers. Would we watch it? I'd watch it.
I'd give it a try.
The first year.
I'd give the first season a try.
It's fast football. Only, I think it's 10 games, so 10 weeks, playoffs, championship. Okay, short games. You said 120, 50 minutes, so that's fairly quickly. No commercials, and you can watch. It's an app. It's a free app, so you can watch it on CBS, and you can watch it with their free app anywhere.
You don't have to pay for the subscription.
So they're like for the future, man. So I believe they're gonna do good.
Damn,
And again, this is a for-profit, so this is a money grab for a scene. They saw opening in the market, and they went for it. So we'll see. We'll see next year. That's the show, ladies and gentlemen, man. Thank you guys again for those who continue to follow us, continue to watch us. You're in the Cypher with the Podheads at the Podheads Web Show on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Please make sure you subscribe, you like, comment, call us now. Make sure you can text us, you can voicemail us. We want the interaction. We'll make you famous for about 5 minutes. We need the support. We love you. I am Podheads JB on all social media platforms. C Money.
At Making C Money on all the social media platforms, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, what you hear. Help us out. Show some love. Appreciate the grind. It's always a pleasure, guys, being in the Cypher. I love doing this. It's my time to vent, my time to share. Frank the Tank, over to you.
Yeah.
Always, guys, your commander-in-chief at Podhead Frank on all social media sites. Check it out. Look for me. Look for at the Podheads Web Show. Show us some love. We're dying to connect with you, with everybody out there. Comment on these videos. Let us know how we can improve the show. Let me know what you think about hemp hacks.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, also, before I would be remiss if I don't mention HempFest again. Guys, October, I think 13th and 14th. We're going to be there, man. We're one of the featured sponsors. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have games. We're going to be fucking chilling and doing the damn thing. Trust me, you do not want to miss HempFest this year in Florida.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can call it HempFest Florida or what the legalities are now because of these douchebags in fucking Seattle. But it's all good. We got our own thing coming. Guys, Podhead Frank, appreciate the love.
Yeah, buddy.
That's right. So thanks again. You're in the Cypher with the Podheads. We'll see you next time, baby.
Woo!
Yeah.
Peace.